This 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Summit Reserve is the nicest Jeep you've ever seen. Gloss black accents, 21-inch wheels, black roof and roof rails, foot activated rear liftgate, power folding third row seats, upgraded interior with wood grain and Palermo leather seats, more technology than any Grand Cherokee, and the go anywhere performance and attitude under the hood. What's up everybody, I'm Jonathan Sewell Sales at Mitchell Jeep on the Boll Weevil Circle in Enterprise, Alabama, and you see behind me a beautiful bright white Grand Cherokee L Summit Reserve, the nicest. And we're gonna go inside, we're gonna go outside, we're gonna go all the way around so that you can see why this Jeep is the right one for you. So let's jump in. More car vids. More car vids. As we're getting started up front, this one just pops. The gloss black, the darker wheels, the black roof. I love it. And you can tell that this is the top trim as you see it on the lot or driving up and down the road. So you do have, of course, park sense sensors up here for proximity detection. Also, your radar sensors here for adaptive cruise and full speed pedestrian detection and automatic emergency braking. You have these LED lights here and an LED strip that's kind of a smoked look, dark bezel there that matches up front. Of course, the 7-slot Heritage grille right here. And we have a surround view camera with this one up front with a little bit of washer there in case you get a little mud up front. This is a Jeep after all. Let me just show you these headlights because if I can dig the key out. And of course, on this key, you get two. You have power rear liftgate, which is also foot activated, and remote start, which is nice. But I'm just gonna hit that so you can see, and there's your nice daytime running lights, but you can see also the blinkers are there as well. We'll get under the hood in just a minute, but let's just slide around to the side here. These are 21-inch wheels, part of the high altitude package. So all the Summits are gonna have this black roof. The high altitude actually blacks out the window trim or the window surround there, so it's all black. And the grill's a little bit different as well. But I love these 21-inch wheels, but they have a unique design, so I like that on this Summit here. Of course, we also have an acoustic windshield up front to block out some of the sound. Your camera up front for your lane departure. You also see the head-up display, which is part of one of the added packages here. And as we look at this gloss black mirror cap, you have a camera here, but also a little puddle lamp, which is nice. And these are auto dimming side mirrors here with a blind spot sensor and or notification. The sensor and the rear cross path is back here. Then you also get this black top of the handles as part of that high altitude. Of course, it's a smart entry, so as you touch it, it unlocks. Hit those grooves to lock it. Love how the emblems pop off, and of course we have an American flag there as the Jeep Heritage. Standard tint in your second and third row. Look at this fuel door right here. So you just push it to open, and you know, it's pretty self-explanatory. No fuel cap for a little bit of ease, so you don't have to worry about that dangling down and scratching or getting fuel or dirt on the vehicle. You can also see back here your sensors as well. So when you have this in reverse or even going forward, you can toggle the camera, and of course the sensors will show you when you get close and you can see. So you've got that 360 camera and a 360 or front and rear protection of your sensors. And the exhausts are nice, and they're built in this rear bumper here. More stylish look, but a good sound too. Let's just crank it up. Even though it's a 6-cylinder, still has a pretty good sound. While that's firing up here, of course it's going to rev high there at the beginning, but also don't have to worry about getting too close to these tips and getting hot since they're surrounded by the bumper there. Also see that piece there will pop out or remove it for the built-in tow package. This one gets a little over 6,000 pounds towing. So not only is it the nicest looking, the best equipment, but it's also capable. We'll go ahead and kill that here so I can show you a few other things. The Summit badging and emblem there is nice. And you also have a foot activated rear liftgate as you saw in the intro. So very convenient, especially we've had some rain today. You can see all the water droplets, so you don't have to get wet with your hand or anything when you're maybe carrying some groceries in a paper bag or whatever the case is. Also have a button here to lower or to lower that when you're finished. And then you've got power seating, so the third row, and you can break those up 50-50. But look at all this cargo. Of course, you got in the Summit here, you've got 6 passengers with that console in the middle. So you've got the passenger size for a third row, but you also have the cargo available. And this has a McIntosh system, so you can see some speakers back here. Also a power plug and some other cargo accessories up here. USB A and C and cup holders for the third row passengers, which is really nice. You can also see their vents built into those C-pillars for better climate control. And then you also can fold that down if that passenger seat wasn't so far. So again, you can load all the cargo you need back here without having to open up the doors and put the seats down. Also, you have a little storage area here, which is nice for each of those third row passengers so they can stick something beside them if they need to. Let's go ahead and drop this back down. And again, this let's look at the profile here. So this Grand Cherokee L, you can tell a difference with that D-pillar, a lot wider than the standard Grand Cherokee, of course, to accommodate for that third row. But also a little bit different look in the front fascia and grille. But definitely when you see it from the side, excuse me, you can tell that it's the third row, and that little trim piece that cuts through on the 2 row is right there, or the little bit of exterior differences. And I think that's about everything on the outside. Let's check out under the hood. Under the hood on this one and all Grand Cherokees for the moment is the Pentastar V6, the 3.6 liter. So we don't know, even though the Hemi's coming back in the trucks, it's still limited ordering and limited production as far as the mix. So we don't know if we're going to see it in the Grand Cherokee. May not come back to the Grand Cherokee because of some fuel economy restrictions. But this one's a good engine, has good power, 293 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque, and as I mentioned, a pretty good towing capacity. And you can see it's got clear fluid containers here, your windshield washer there, battery here, you know, big fan shroud right here, big air box for good clean air to come into this naturally aspirated engine, and pretty decent fuel economy. 25 on the highway is what it's rated at. So you have that 21 combined with an 8-speed transmission, so probably can get close to 30 if you are very particular in how you drive and accelerate. This is a good setup for this vehicle and all Grand Cherokees. Now let's check out all the goodies inside. Opening it up, the thing that really caught my attention when this one came off the truck, you may remember if you saw that video, is the black interior. So haven't seen the black interior, love the cross stitching, how it ties in. And you know, normally I would stay away from black leather seats. However, these are heated and ventilated, so they're going to be more comfortable. You can set that automatically with the temperature outside or your climate inside. Control that up here or set it automatically with the climate control inside. You do have the McIntosh system here, which this lights up. This door sill lights up, so people and you know that it's the Summit when you're coming in. Just all these little subtle touches. You do have memory seats here, and this of course toggles those massagers, so you have massaging seat up front to make every ride the most comfortable. And I can't hardly do it when I'm driving because it's not safe for me to fall asleep behind the wheel. However, this one also upgrades to the hands-free driving, So there's a lot of technology here that helps you safely arrive to your destination and be convenient. Love the look of the wood grain. Of course, you have the big screen here. Of course, all the charging, wireless charger, A's and C's, and all the, this one even has your different air ride suspension, which I didn't talk about, and drive modes. So everything's there. This is the Quadra Drive 2 system. So it's 4-wheel drive high, depending on which mode you're in here, but also you have a low range as well. So it can do everything you need to. You see the McIntosh tweeter up there. You have the, hello there, a digital rear view camera. Let's just crank this up while we're sitting here. So there's your digital rear camera. Of course, you can disengage that if you don't want to use it, but it's a good height back there. Taco holder, your shades here for the panoramic roof, which is nice. And you have this very smooth Alcantara headliner, which is pretty scaled up as well. Home link, of course, vanity mirrors, and then your assist and SOS right there as well. All your amenities here, navigation, all your audio controls. As you saw with these apps, you have some off-road pages for different things to see how everything's checking out, and your pitch and roll and different things like that. See what differentials are being used and how they're locked or what have you. Also, the comfort, like I was talking about before, with all the temperatures, but also your massaging seats you can toggle to. The self-parking, which is nice. Your rear sensors, active lane management, of course the old stop and start that we don't really care for. Maybe we'll see some changes with new regulations here. This controls all the toggling here to go through different settings. You can see this is kind of a sport look with this full digital multi-information display with your tach and your speedometer. You can actually toggle over here to more of a digital look, and look at there, night vision. So you can see what it's seeing over that way. There's your heads-up display flashing, but you have night vision for better visibility at night. That's pretty cool, and we'll do a shorter demonstration of that later. But all these different things here, which are pretty cool. There, of course, tire pressure and trip. So you can even have your map data there, shows where we're at here, and go through some more settings depending on what you want to see. And here we are back to that analog look, and there's your digital look. Both of them do offer the digital speedometer. Of course, you also have that in the heads-up display. So a lot of great features, really the nicest. There's the McIntosh lit up. Really the nicest Grand Cherokee, and it does have a hefty price tag that we'll look at in just a minute. But this is the one that, you know, if you want to have the top trim, it's got all the technology and all the features. Let's hop in the back seat. And going into the second row here. So stepping into the back seat, you'll see there's plenty of room back here, although I did just bump my knee there. But lots of room, and you also have your own console, which is nice. Of course, all of your HVAC here, including heated and ventilated seats for these outboard seats. You do have a regular home outlet, 115 volt, and USBs, A's and C's. So very comfortable. You can recline this seat and take a nap. Of course, you know, check out the sky above, or, you know, get it comfortable however you want it. Also, you have the LED light shining down all the way around, so you have good visibility. Your own cup holders here and extra storage. And then with this armrest, you have a smaller storage right up top where you can remove the tray and get a little more storage underneath. So just very comfortable in the back seat. And let me show you some of the third row. And to get into the third row seat, you have this handle right here, which just easily, very lightly, because of the how the seat's made, to slide and get out of the way to get into this third row. We showed it from the rear earlier, but the same style seating, same perforation. Of course, you also have these tilt features here, or tumble features from the rear if you want to access that, cup holders and USBs as I was talking about, and you can see those headrests fold down. This is also a rear camera back here to see what's going on with all of your rear passengers, so you can toggle that in the infotainment up front. But lots of room and comfort for everybody, and I think that wraps it up for our conversation here on the Grand Cherokee Summit Reserve. Let's look at this pricing. $75,825 with these options. Customer Preferred Package 23U, Advanced Pro Tech Group, which also has a windshield wiper de-icer, High Altitude Package, and the Luxury Tech Group with that wireless charging pad. Let's give it one more walk around here. If you have any questions or comments on this Grand Cherokee or any of them, you can always drop a comment down below or text me at 334-718-0504. I am Jonathan Sewell Sales at Mitchell Jeep on the Bollweevil Circle in Enterprise, and I really can't wait to see you in one of your very own, perhaps this Summit Reserve, which is the nicest Jeep ever.